Hey guys, welcome to your 10th custom zombie mapping tutorial for World at War on PC. Now this tutorial we're going to be adding in some blockers into our map, which is basically the debris version of doors. So things like tables and chairs and things like that. So first of all, you're going to want to open up your map in Radiant, which you've probably already done. And secondly, there's quite a few KVPs that you're going to need in this tutorial, so I'd recommend going down to the link in the description, which will take you to this page. And this is a list of all of the KVPs that you're going to need. So first of all, we're going to go ahead and create our second room quickly, so that we have somewhere to actually put a blocker. So first of all, well, this is going to be the second way to make a room, because the first room that we made, we just basically created all of the walls and the ceiling and the floor all separately. So this is going to be a slightly different way, and a lot easier way. So basically, first of all, just go ahead and create the floor plan of your second room. Then once you've done that, all you simply do is make sure that it's aligned correctly to the floor, and then just drag it up to 2 blocks high, and then click on this hollow button up here, and that will just simply create it and convert it from basically one block with nothing inside it to all separate walls. So now you can go ahead and deselect everything and then only select the walls and texture those, and then texture the floor and the ceiling. So let me just go ahead and get a ceiling texture. Okay, so let me just, there we go. Okay, so this is our second room, so that was quite fast. So first of all, well, secondly, we're going to want to go ahead and you're going to want to face, right, go into your second room, and then you're going to want to face your first room, and then you're just going to want to delete the wall that's right in front of you. So now there should only be one wall separating your first and your second room. So now we're going to basically just want to cut that wall so that we've got somewhere to actually put the blocker. So just go ahead and select the wall. You also probably select the whole thing, but because I've already made this tutorial before, but the audio basically wasn't right, so I'm remaking it. So my wall is already cut, but yours will probably select the whole thing. So basically just go ahead and cut the wall into a section. So just go ahead and select the wall that you want to cut, then hold down Control Shift and right click the mouse in 2 places in a vertical line, and then press Shift and Enter, and it should cut the wall. So basically it is that same thing as we did for the zombie barriers. Now once you've done that, just go ahead and delete the part where you want to put the blocker. And I'm actually just going to go ahead and resize that, because actually, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and delete that as well. Okay, so now just make sure that your floor is in perfect alignment and everything. So that needs moving down by 1. And then you're just going to want to retexture the chalk parts that are showing. So to select one single side of a wall or whatever, it's Control, Shift and left click, and that'll only select the single side. And then just go ahead and give that a texture, so that'll do. And there we go. So now we have the place in our wall where we're going to want to put the blocker. So now we need to actually work on the actual blocker itself. So first of all, go ahead and right click in your 2D grid view, go down to Script and then Model. Press the N key to take away the entity window, because we don't need that. And now you're going to want to go to your root folder, raw, and then X model. And this should show you a giant list of a load of different files, which are all different models which are used in game. Now you can get small ones, such as, for example, lights or lanterns, or you can get massive blockers, such as vehicles, like tanks and things. So basically just go ahead and choose one which will fit in your map. You can basically use whatever you want. Some of them are solid and some of them aren't. So some of them the players can walk straight through, and some of them they can't. But you can go ahead and sort that out manually later on, which I'll show you probably in the next tutorial, or even later on in this one. So I'm just going to go ahead and use a table of some sort. So I'm just going to go ahead and quickly try and find something. Okay, so that'll do. And once you've got that, just go ahead and place it in your doorway. Shift and D to rotate it by 90 degrees. And let me just go ahead and hide path nodes. Press the F key to bring up the filters box, and then untick path nodes, and then press F again to get rid of path nodes. Okay, so just bring that up by one more. That's actually too high now, so I'm just going to go ahead and select a lower grid to get more accurate placement. So let me just do that. Okay, so that should be fine. So now that you've done that, this is going to need some KVPs. So just go ahead and press the N key to bring up the entity window. And now, if you go to the link in the description, you can see the KVPs that we need. So the first one is script_link2, and that is basically, well, you can basically put whatever you want in here, but you're going to need to remember it later on. So what I would recommend is just copy in what I do, and what I do is I just basically put the number of the amount of doors that we currently have in this. So this is our first door, so we'd put 1 in here. And then, let me just go ahead and resize this, and now press N. Okay, so the next KVP that we need for the script model is spawn flags, and that has to be 1. And then the last one that we need is target name, and what I normally do for this is just put door followed by the number of doors. So once again, this is our first door, so I'll just put door 1 for that, but you can put basically whatever you want. And then there are 3 extra ones that we can have for like special effects once we buy the door. So the first one of these is script_fireFX, and the value of that is poltergeist. And then the next one is script_fxid, and the value of that is large_ceiling_dust. And then finally we can also have script_noteworthy, and that's jiggle. Okay, so now we're just going to want to go ahead and create a trigger use. So go ahead and deselect the model, and now right click in your 2D grid view, go down to trigger and then use, and that should have created a block which will have this trigger texture. So just go ahead and basically surround your blocker model with this trigger, and this is basically going to be the area where the player has to stand in to actually be able to buy the door. So this is also going to need some KVPs, so with that selected, go ahead and press the N key to bring up the entity window, and the KVP that this needs is target name, and that has to be zombie_debris. Then we also need zombie_cost, and that has to be a predefined cost. Now we can do custom prices later on, but that's going to be later on because you need to edit some different files. So for now, just go ahead and use one of the default costs, and that can be 100, 200, 250, 500, 750, 1000, 1250, 1500, 1750, or 2000. So let's just put 750 since it's our first door. And then finally, you need to put target. Now, the target value has to be the target name of our... Actually, does it? No, sorry, it has to be the... actually, I'm not too sure. Yeah, I think it has to be the target name of our model. So that would be door 1. Okay. And once you've done that, the final thing that you can do if you want to... Now, this part is not required, but you can do it if you want to. And this is basically going to allow the actual model itself, so in my case the table, to move to a certain location once the door buys. If you don't do this last step, then once the player buys a door, then the model will just disappear, and that'll be it. However, if you do this last step, which is right click in 2D grid view, go to script and then struct, then it should create a small red box, and this is going to be where your model is going to move to once you buy the door. So I'm just going to make it move all the way to the back wall. Okay. And that needs 1 KVP, and that is script_link name, I believe. Let me just double check. Yep. And the value of that has to be the link to number on the model, so we put 1 for that. Okay, so that should be it. So that should have drawn a line from the trigger use to the model, and then from the model to the script struct. And that's it. So double check that you have both of those lines. If you don't, then just double check your link to and link names and target names and everything like that, and that should be fine. So let's go ahead and test it out. Hey guys, so just a couple of things that I should probably mention while I was testing this map out for the first time. First of all, you can see that the blocker is actually working, or later on you can see that it's actually working anyway. You can see that the trigger's working, and you can see that it's costing $750 for the player to actually buy the door. You can also see that the table is actually solid, so the player can't walk through it, like I mentioned earlier about some of them are solid and some of them aren't. However, you can see that I can crawl underneath it, and in the next tutorial there'll be a small section at least showing you how to add in some barriers so that the player can't walk wherever they want. You can also see that the table flew straight back to where I put the script struct once I bought the door, so you can see that was working fine. And the final thing that I'm showing you is the path nodes. Now, something that we didn't add into our second room on purpose is path nodes, and this is just basically showing you what they do exactly. So you can see that once I walk into the second room, the zombies don't know where I am and don't know basically the route to get to me, so they don't know what to do and they all just pile up. So that's the importance of having path nodes in your map. So feel free to leave a like if you think this video helped you, and the next video will be released once this video reaches 15 likes. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.